how do I say hello world in Japanese?
こんにちは世界。
And what about in Spanish?
Hola mundo.
Well, stay with me as we explore the translation API to make our apps global. Welcome to AI Adventures, where we explore the art, science, and tools of machine learning. I am Priyanka Vergadia, and today we're talking about Translation API. Have you ever typed, "How do I say tomatoes in Hindi?" in your Google search? I bet you have. Well, maybe not exactly that, but something similar, right? Then you have used Google's translation models. But what if you could use the power of this translation model to translate your websites and apps, making them instantly usable across the world in multiple languages? Well, that's where Translation API comes in. It is a high-quality, pre-trained translation model that can automatically identify more than 100 languages and translate them. You can easily integrate your website or apps with it using the REST API. Let's see how. First, enable the Translation API in your project and create a service account for authentication. Make sure you provide the Cloud Translation API Editor role to your service account and generate a JSON key. This will be used to authenticate our call. I love Cloud Shell, so here I'm using curl from Cloud Shell to call the Translation API, but you can use the language of your choice. We authenticate the service using the key we downloaded earlier. Now, let's say we want to translate "the weather is amazing today" into Hindi. Here, we are setting both source and target, but the source is optional since the API can auto-detect the source language. We pass this request.json file as a payload with our HTTP post request to the Translation API. And we get the translation, "Mausam aaj adbhut hai." This is great. Let's try another example now. Google Cloud is an amazing technology. Even though this is technically a correct translation, it still feels weird. This is because Google Cloud is a proper noun and should not be translated. In such cases where you have product names, company names, and other proper nouns, you would like more control over how these specific words are translated. That's where Translation API's advanced glossary feature comes in. It is essentially a custom dictionary that the API uses to consistently translate your domain-specific terminology. Here's how it works. We create a glossary file with samples of our source and target language phrases and save it in Google Cloud Storage. Then we make a translation request using the glossary files. Now let's apply this to our example. We create a glossary file, name it glossary.csv, and you can also create them in TMX or TSV formats if you want. Let's add some examples here. Google Cloud stays the same, Translation API stays the same, while technology translates. Upload this file to a GCS bucket. Before we start using the glossary, we need to register it and create a glossary ID, where in the payload, we mention the source and target language along with the location of the file. And now we are ready to translate the text using our glossary. And here we see the translation now takes our glossary into account and considers Google Cloud as a proper noun. So far, we've seen text translation for a single string. But what if you wanted to translate multiple files in multiple languages? That's where the batch translation feature comes in. It is easy. Upload the files you want to translate into Google Cloud Storage, request translations in multiple languages, and then store the translations in Google Cloud Storage. Let's see how this works. I have this sample text file that we will translate in a few different languages. We define our request body in the 3 languages: Spanish, French, and Hindi. Provide the path for the source and destination in Google Cloud Storage. Then make a call to the API endpoint with batch translate text using our request body. Now let's go to our Google Cloud Storage bucket to see our translated files, and they are available for us to use. In this episode, we learned how Translation API works and tried some advanced features such as batch translation for bulk translation needs and glossary for correctly translating proper nouns and product names. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of AI Adventures, where we will explore custom domain-specific models using AutoML translation. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, click that like button and be sure to subscribe to get notified about the latest episodes right when they come.